Hello everyone, I'm Brady Brown, and this is the Blue and Silver Screen. You may remember I did a review of all 8 of the Harry Potter films in one go. Well, today I want to do something similar, reviewing all 3 films in the Cloverfield series. Now, before I really get into the review, I need to lay some groundwork. Cloverfield is not your typical series. It's not a part 1, part 2, part 3. It's a sort of shared universe, with all 3 films being in their own separate timelines connected by a shared lore. Now, I don't really have time to get into that shared backstory. I've included some videos down below explaining it. What you really need to know, if you don't want to watch those videos, is that there's a company called ppe, and the things that they do lead to the events of all 3 of the films. So to begin with the first one, Cloverfield from 2008, when it was released, it was meant to be the Godzilla of the 9/11 generation. It's a kaiju film, it's a giant monster movie, so you kind of know what you're getting yourself into when you watch it. Giant monster attacks New York City, but what makes it different is the fact that it's a found footage film, and it's from the perspective of the civilians. So in most of these sorts of films, we get the top-down perspective, seeing the monster attack the city, but in this one, we are looking from the bottom up. And we're not from the military, we're not with the government, we're just with the random people who happen to be in the city at this time. So as I was saying, Cloverfield was meant to be the Godzilla of the 9/11 generation, so yes, there is a lot of imagery evoking 9/11, and I will warn you, if you get motion sick, maybe don't watch this one on a very large screen, because the film is known for its very shaky camera work, which does add to the aesthetic, but also can be distracting, and it does make some of the scenes hard to follow. And now for something completely different, 10 Cloverfield Lane. So as I said, these 3 films, they are connected thematically and with this shared backstory, but they are set in completely different locations. The first Cloverfield takes place up in New York City. 10 Cloverfield Lane takes place down in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I may be wrong on that, but I don't care. We're going on with the review. So 10 Cloverfield Lane follows a young woman, Michelle, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and she is kidnapped by this conspiracy theorist, Howard Stambler, played by John Goodman, both of whom give some great performances. You would never think of John Goodman being a great villain, but he is. Howard Stambler claims that aliens have invaded the Earth, and the only place that Michelle is safe is in his bunker. And that's all I really want to say about 10 Cloverfield Lane, because it is a thriller, and there are so many little twists and turns that really, I don't want you to go in knowing what's going to happen. I want you to go in as blind as possible. I haven't even mentioned some of the extra characters, who I may or may not be lying about. Let's have a little fun. And the third film is the Cloverfield Paradox. It is garbage. Do not watch it. It adds nothing to the plot. The only interesting thing about that film is that it happened to be released as soon as the Super Bowl ended. That's really it. Actually, instead of watching that, what you should do is go watch Megan. It was a fan film created, again, links in the description, and if you're going to watch Megan, I do recommend watching some of the other videos that I've linked below, so that way you can get the full context of what's going on. So the beauty of the Cloverfield series is that, again, they're not a part 1, a part 2, so if one of them you don't like, that's okay. You can watch the next one, it's going to be a lot better, or vice versa. And I am really hoping that they make more Cloverfield films. There's constant rumors that there's going to be a 4th, but we're just going to have to wait to see what happens. In the meantime, go watch the 2 good ones. Don't watch Paradox. If I hear any of you watch Paradox, I'm going to be very upset. But yes, go watch the first 2. Go watch Megan. Go watch some of the other fan things. They are fantastic. And it's one of my favorite film series of all time. Controversial opinion, I do think it's one of the best. It doesn't get the respect it deserves. So those were my thoughts on the Cloverfield series. I hope you enjoyed. If you watch the series, please let me know. And I hope to see you sometime soon.